the record, Allie. So we got that done. And also, just so you know, Allie, I don't have the breakout room stuff on my screen. Is that okay? Because you have it on your screen? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. All right. I think we got all of our technical stuff. So, and then we've got some more people. So how many do we have? 8, 11. So we'll be in 2 groups today. Okay, beautiful. So to get started, let us bow. And in that bow, we hold every human being, every living being. We hold our past, our present, and our future. And we open our hearts and our capacities to grow for ever greater good and kindness and love. So, and welcome, Carolyn. Very nice to see you here today.
Thank you, Kristina.
Yeah, I haven't seen you for a long time. That's great. Welcome. Beautiful. All right. So for those of us who have a candle to light, to have a little bit more ritual in this process and to bring the whole into your actual physical space, I'm gonna go ahead and light that candle, and anyone else who has that candle can go ahead and do that right now. All right. So one of our practices is to feel each other, right? So how do we, and then take this into our moment-to-moment life, but how do we feel each other, you know, in our bodies, feel other people feeling us? And so one of the ways that we're exploring this is through toning in the group. And whether we can pull that off here right now, I'm not sure, but some of us have done it before. So unmute yourself and toning, however you want to do it. We're going to do it for 1 minute and I will time. And when we're done, I'll just bring my hands down like that. And in the meantime, just let yourself voice into this space, into your space. And if you can, and it's a little tricky because we're using technology, right? Let yourself feel all the other voices. So I will start and join in. Here we go. Oh, that was fun.
That was great.
I think we did it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for presencing yourself in any and all ways that you just did. That was brave. And now somebody's calling me, so I'm going to turn that off. All right. So we are a group of outrageous lovers ready to step into this we space and share whatever wants to arise. But before we do that, we're going to meditate together for 5 minutes. So if folks want to go ahead and, you know, ground their feet and get yourself comfortable, Allie will hit the bowl and start out our 5 minutes, and keep track of the folks that are messaging as well. And we will go ahead and just bring in some more presence into the space together. All right. And yeah, go ahead and mute yourself just so that your sounds don't distract the meditative space. Thank you, Rita. Diane, you want to mute yourself? All right. I'm going to mute myself and start my 5 minutes. All right. Thank you, Allie. All right, everyone, welcome back. So everybody have pen and paper or what they need to work to write? Everybody good? All right. So a little bit about the writing time, as much as you can, keep writing. Just let yourself come out on the paper, whatever wants to be said, whether it's contrary to the prompt or right deep inside of it in your personal life, or whether it's, I hate this, or whether it's using your senses, your whole body, original detail from your life. But know that whatever it is that wants to come forward today is welcome and held in safety. So I will read today's prompt, and then Allie will hit the gong, and then we'll write for 20 minutes. She'll hit the gong again, and then we'll have a 5-minute break. And then we will go into 2 breakout rooms, or maybe we'll have one person share in the big group, and then we'll go into 2 breakout rooms, and everyone will get a chance to share their writing and give feedback to everyone else. So, all right, everybody ready? And also, as you know, the prompt is right here on the screen behind us. And I will read it. Code 42. Avoid the corruptibility that comes from breaking communication between your universal self and your mental mind. Corruptible means able to be broken. You can't make the corruptible incorruptible by doing anything. You become incorruptible by being connected, and everything you do flows from there. To become incorruptible, create an unbroken communication from your universal self to your mental mind to at least one other in a resonant field. Hallelujah. That's what we're doing here now. All right. Enjoy your writing. Feel free to leave your screen on or leave it off. That's up to you. And I look forward to coming together again in 25 minutes. Allie, are you going to hit the bowl? Thank you.
it's time for our 5-minute break.
Either keep writing or take a break, and we'll see you in 5 minutes. All right, welcome back, everyone. It's very good to be with you all. So a few notes on sharing your writing as well as giving feedback. We often feel like we want to preface our writing, but this practice is you just start reading and you don't preface, and just trust that those feelings that you have or the things you want to tell us get to come through in the writing. Also, read slowly. That's a tricky one. So it's really great to sort of think of that before you get started, and know often the slower the better. So it's just easier to note what we like. It's easier to hear you. It's easier to track what's going on in your work. So just a sweet reminder to read slowly. And then in terms of feedback, it's great to take notes while you're listening. If you don't want to, that's fine too. What you're looking to do is give feedback directly from the writing. So I noticed a lot of colors. I noticed you were working through some feelings about your father, and I thought that was beautiful. Try not to get into how that reminds you of something about that, but just like giving that person a mirror for what you heard in their writing is where we're going. And thank you for keeping those things in mind. So I think what we'll do, it seems like we have shifting numbers of people here, but now we've got 12 again. So hopefully whoever dropped off will come back. Who would like to read in the group before we split into breakout groups? Does anybody have a burning desire? Patty, go ahead.
I will. How to become incorruptible is to be the me that has been waiting to emerge, the me that has been spoken of in these codes. It is time to be this me in my daily life. A conscious world is created by each one of us living from our higher selves. For me, that means telling my truth, whether it's agreed with or not. It means being transparent. That's a scary prospect, but it's got to start sometime with someone. Why not with me? If not now, when? What does being transparent mean? It means beginning to be honest about what's going on in my head. I think about it like this. If we all of a sudden became telepathic, would I be okay with people knowing what's in my head? The things I don't say out loud, but I mumble in the secrecy of my mind. I have begun this process, and let me just say, it's uncomfortable. There are so many times I've said something I shouldn't have, and I just hold my breath that it didn't come back to bite me. Well, now I'm starting to own those out loud, and ooh-wee, it's hard. But because I did it the first time, I'm much more aware of what I'm saying. So I'm grateful I had the courage to speak up. The second time was very rewarding. And as I said, I'm new at this, so I don't have a lot of experience yet being transparent. The second time I did something to someone else I didn't like being done to me, and my wanting to be transparent didn't let it go. I owned it by sharing what I had done and the assumptions I made, And I'm so glad I did, because what I heard in response was nothing close to the story I made up. The value with transparency is cleaning out toxic energy to allow the unbroken communication between my mental mind and my universal self.
Thank you very much, Patty. That's
Yep.
beautiful. Would you like feedback?
Sure.
All right. So whoever is moved to give feedback can just go ahead and chime in. Christine?
Yeah, that was good. Be the me that has been spoken of in these codes. That's right. I like thinking about, well, I like that you're thinking about it in terms of that's you in the codes. And if we all of a sudden became telepathic, would it be okay? People heard what's going on in my head. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I wonder if we're going to run into a lot of that. We're going to have a sense of humor, but that is a brilliant question. I like that. It got me thinking. Yeah. Thank you, Pat.
Cool. You're welcome.
Thank you, Christine.
Yeah, I can go next.
Lynn?
I didn't really write all that down in the first little bit. I just wrote down me and be, and then transparent. Being honest about what's in your head, telepathic, the secrecy of the mind, becoming more aware, and you want to own it. And then the last thing I have is cleaning out toxic energy. So it's all a process. So thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Lynn. Allie?
Some of the words that I charted down as you were reading, truth, transparency, honesty, awareness, and courage. And I really love how those, they fall into each other. It's just a beautiful unfolding. Thank you, Patty.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Allie. Next. Carolyn?
Hello, Miss Patty.
Hello, Miss Carolyn.
Well, you already know all this. But first and foremost, I want to say kudos. I want to say congratulations for that knowingness and the transparency and the dedication and the honesty and the willingness to presence with the telepathy. And the biggest thing that I heard you say, honestly, and it wasn't in the words specifically, but what I heard you saying was your dedication to listen beyond, and all of those other things, the cleaning out the toxins and all that, is to hear and be and see clearly. And I admire your willingness to show up, and spooky too, in the listening, as the listening to you and listening to others and listening to what wants to be seen and heard and experienced, and the willingness to be in that space. That's what I heard. The most resounding is the willingness to listen to what is being.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Thanks, Carolyn.
All right, one or two more before we complete.
Just a few words.
Yes, my dear.
To be this me, to tell my truth, to be transparent. Those are very declarative, important statements, which you so obviously have embodied. And I just love watching you grow. And the other sentence, would it be okay if people knew the secrets of my mind? That's wonderful. And as someone else said, the cleaning out of the toxic, what was the word? I don't remember. Waste, I think. I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Anybody else with a burning desire?
I want to know about your dog. I'm sorry. Forget it. I didn't say that.
Cat.
Her cat there. All right. What I want to say is I actually learned something listening to you about this, like your the way you just went right into the whole of your brain and everything that's in it mattering was highlighting to me. And I really appreciate that you brought that forward. Thank you, Patty. And just reiterating what everyone said.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Would you like to say anything?
I think the only thing I want to say is how valuable this experience this has been, because this is what's helping me be me in my world.
Woohoo!
This is the deepest that I get a chance to go with other people that actually hear me. So it's certainly a great place to practice going out and being it. So thank you all for showing up.
Right. We all matter in this whole thing. All
Yes.
right. Thank you, Patty. All right. So Allie's going to put us into breakout rooms now. And I'll see the ones in my breakout room shortly. And I'll see the rest of you 5 minutes before the end of class.
Awesome. So I'm going to separate you out. And if you'll just accept the request for splitting into breakout rooms, I'll send a 5-minute warning when we need to wrap up.
Well, that was quick. Isn't technology amazing? All right. So welcome. And whoever wants to read first. Sarah, do you want to go ahead and unmute yourself?
This is confusing. I don't want to read first, but tell me if this is working. Is this working without sound?
No, we still hear this. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for checking. And also, I was having troubles with my microphone last time, which is why we found out about downloading a new Zoom. Do I sound okay to everyone as well? All right, great. So, but Sarah, we do want to hear you even though that sound is there. I think that can happen. So, so you know, okay? So who would like to go first? Carolyn, please.
I'll go first.
Great.
As I was riding, I'll say mountain biking because all of you don't know me. As I was riding today, I felt this deeply. As my heart beat and my wheels rolled through the leaves and across the myriad of roots exposed from the well-traveled trail, I was infinitely aware of my breath and all with which I'm ever connected. No mistaking the blurred line amidst the trees, communicating in and as one. Nature is a wonderful partner who shows up ready in each moment to presence. So much came to my awareness while writing. Gratitude for my awareness. Gratitude for my attitude of gratitude. Gratitude for opportunities that may seemingly be masquerading as contrast, but clearly seen to me as, how about now? Do you see me now? Do you see source value in this here now? My son is such a wonderful gift in this dance. We play all sorts of music together and determine the source dance of the moment. A shared space experience with my Special Olympics athletes yesterday was certainly remarkable in this connectivity, as always. One boy I'm particularly connecting to this season, Raul. Outwardly, one would think he's displeased from being there. Yet he held my hand, bestowing total trust in me as I skated backward, allowing him to feel the rush of movement, attempting to ease him into the comfort of this world. We are totally bonded in connectivity and presence, oblivious to what's around us. It was my athlete friend Kwamir's birthday yesterday. I announced it on the microphone and sang happy birthday and let him be seen, noticed, acknowledged. His mom texted me to say he told her about it and that it was the best birthday ever. Awareness, willingness to presence with him ushered the moment of connection. My infinitely wonderful new friend Patty and I have thoroughly enjoyed diving into the exploration of this lately. I feel the unmistakable resonance of one in connectivity with her, lingering throughout each day. Fluidity with my dear friends Joe and Andreas offer majestic space of allowance and acceptance, where there is no break. Many friends and opportunities and situations graciously offer recognition of presencing, impervious to variations of the seemingly external happenings. The loyalty of diligent communion from my animals is gloriously blatant, obvious, sometimes too obvious. The frequency where I consistently resonate, sees, feels, senses, experiences, transmits, and receives affirmative continuity. I am that. I am the incorruptible universal self, one with all.
Thank you, Carolyn. That's very good to be back in the same space as you. Beautiful. Would you like feedback?
Absolutely.
All right. I can go first. Or Lynn, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wrote down some phrases. There was so much in that. So in the beginning, it was heart, wheels, well-traveled, connected, in and as one, wonderful partner, and all of that gratitude. That was a great section there about gratitude. How about now? Source stance, total trust. Be seen, noticed, acknowledged. Resonance of one. I am that. So thank you.
I like the way you made that, just the words that you said kind of made its own little story. Taking those out, they still had the same context. That was cool.
Thank you, Lynn. I'll go. So Carolyn, that was beautiful and right, so integrated all throughout, all the way from, you know, your bike ride, your relationship with nature, right into your relationship with your son and the best birthday ever, and the loyalty of the animals. Ooh, and so, right, it's just like you as consciousness, just living your life and just, right, being that universal mind as you're just up in it. And that was so great. And one of my favorite lines was, nature is a wonderful partner ready to show up. Could you reread that line?
Sure. Nature is a wonderful partner who shows up ready in each moment to presence.
Right? It's so beautifully true. Thank you so much. I'm complete. Marilyn or Sarah or Christine, chime in. Go ahead, Christine.
Thank you, Carolyn. That was really beautiful. And it is true what you say about nature. And when we let her run her show, it's just a miracle, right? Like, it's everything. She's so forgiving. And yeah, when I was a child, I grew up on Lake Ontario, and Lake Erie was declared dead. And then once we started respecting her, she became the cleanest of the Great Lakes. So, you know, nature itself is miraculous, and I appreciate all your words. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Marilyn or Sarah? Marilyn?
I don't really have anything new, but I also loved how it all flowed together. It was just so beautiful. And the well-traveled trail and communicating as one in nature and gratitude, a source dance in oneness, awareness, awareness in the moment and the connection in oneness. There was that flow of oneness and connection and nature that is very important in my life as well. I could feel that connection. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. Sarah, you want to give it a try?
Yeah, just I actually really love the way you write. It's just absolutely beautiful, and I then picked out exactly the same sorts of thoughts and words, but it's just very, very magical. Thank you, Darren. And I was also really interested to hear Kristina's story that came through for that too.
Thank you, Sarah. Before you go, Carolyn, I'll say one more thing, that the beginning where you had your, the details of your bike ride and you had your physical self, like the heartbeat and then the wheels rolling through the leaves, and then the way that your awareness of the things around you, that was stunning. Yes. Would you like to say anything to reflect on
It is
writing?
stunning. And I really appreciate the reflection from everyone, because I was really aware of it today. And as you know, Kristina, I go biking all the time, and you and I are always in nature with our animals usually. Today was the first day I've gotten to bike in a week because we're on the East Coast. So Florence was visiting and she had her party, which meant we couldn't enjoy the trails for a few days. So I guess today it was heightened some way, but there was also, because the leaves had fallen a lot, that the trail was not always clear. And even though I've ridden that trail many times, I had to orient myself, like, where am I? And not just memory, but presencing, like, where is there a turn coming? And this is a tight trail where trees are really close and handlebars and you got to maneuver. And so the dance, the awareness and the surrender into where am I to be right here now, it was a surrender to guide me, but it was also this presence of, just like you guys are echoing to me, is that moment of noticing the leaves, feeling the trees. And I think it was Christine that said something about the trees. It was, to me, it's their consistency that attracts me, like their energy, where just they're ever present and they radiate the same, no matter what the weather is or what the season is or what seems to be occurring. And I'm just grateful for the awareness. So thank you guys for dancing with me.
Thank you.
It's nice to be here. Kristina, it's nice to put a face with all the times I've seen you in the chat and stuff. So thank you for the space.
You're welcome, Carolyn. Thank you. All right. So Christine, are you sure that we can invite you to read?
I truly feel that today I just want to observe and be in union with all of you. Maybe I'm a little shy.
Understandably, that's fair. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So Marilyn or Sarah?
I can go next.
Lynn, yes, go ahead.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say to Christine that when I started this the last term, it took me a while well, actually it didn't take me a while. I made a decision, and even though it was uncomfortable, I did it. So we support you, whatever you do. So this is what I wrote. 42, the answer to the question of life. Yet what is the question? Creating an unbreakable connection. Not quite as tragic as breaking an unbreakable vow is in Harry Potter, or is it? In Harry Potter, death ensues. In life, it does in a way create death. I'm not really fully alive when I am disconnected from my universal self, my infinite potential, infinite possibilities. Lonely, cold, not being in the flow, life happening to me. I connect and life starts happening through me again. I see with new eyes, vivid, vibrant, smells, color, sounds, all in their vibrant natural state. Only love, no limiting self-talk, that calm, peaceful place of being who I've come here to be, fully in the wheel of co-creation. Is it really co-creation if we are all one? It's the wheel of creation. And yet, if everything that has ever existed is already here, is it creation? No, it's connection. Full circle back to this code. Communication, which is connection. Living from this place more and more. Peace, perfection, existence. Fully existing. Being grateful in all things. Oh, how the world changes being in this place. Living from this place. Utopia. It reminds me of a Star Trek episode where they discover a utopia-like setting. I colorize that scene and make it now. Even the weather seems different. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a sci-fi weather machine? Camelot. Or would it? I love the seasons, the unpredictability of the weather. Maybe change the hurricanes and floods, or not. You can't be truly happy unless you know sadness. Polarity exists and is good. Connection, communion, communication, unbreakable, incorruptible, honest, open, accepting. Wow, that was fast. I guess I'm done. 42.
Thank you, Lynn, very much. Would you like feedback?
Yes, please.
All right. I can go first. I really loved the beginning where you're exploring, are you fully alive if you're not in touch with your universal self, and lonely, cold, not being in the flow, and that distinction between life happening to me and through me. Like, isn't that an astounding becoming as we get to know the difference between those two things? And you so beautifully explored it through, you know, I love the seasons, right? Which is kind of like a life happening to me. And then you're kind of like, well, if I had a say about this, right? Well, maybe we wouldn't have this. Well, maybe we would, right? So, and then it just kept going like that. So thank you very much for taking me on that journey with you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Christine, are you gonna go? Are you looking to go next? No. Oh, Carolyn, go ahead.
I'll go because nobody was talking.
It's great.
I liked the flow. There were several things that really got my attention that resonate with me as well. And as echoing some of the things Kristina said, your depiction of the death and the not fully alive when disconnected, lonely, cold, life happening to me, connect, and then life happens through me. And even I say as me. So I felt that. You didn't happen to use that word, but that's what I felt too. A natural, vibrant state, a state of being. And one thing I definitely resonate with you is I also feel the word connection versus creation is more appropriate if it's already here, that we are just becoming aware. We're awakening into the awareness of it rather than, so I guess we're creating the awareness, but not really. We're becoming it, we're being it. But I liked the peace, the perfection, existence, being grateful in all things, living from this place. Utopia, make it now. Even the weather feels different. And your gratitude for the seasons and the unpredictability and seeing the balance and the polarity leads you to the communion and being accepting and inviting of that, recognizing the value, I think is awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Marilyn?
Yes, and I'll ditto a lot of what's been said before, but I also like the reference to Harry Potter. That, and there were so many references, it was hard for me to keep track of all of them. But the infinite possibilities, and being what I've come here to be, and the whole connection between creation, and are we creating because it already exists? And shifting that to connecting to the awareness of it all existing, the gratitude for all things, and liking the unpredictability, not necessarily wanting to control everything, because there's beauty and grace in the unpredictability of life happening through me. I love that. Beautiful.
Beautifully said, Marilyn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Sarah, you want to give it a shot?
I mean, very similar things. I picked out exactly being who I've come here to be. But I'm adoring the depth of this conversation and the way we're all deepening each other's thoughts on this. I'm learning so much through this. So thank you, Lynn, because your way, and I love Douglas Adams. I mean, I just think Douglas Adams just had everything. He's just total genius in the way he saw everything. So thank you for 42 and bringing us back to that. And then the way we're all deepening each other's thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Kristina?
Thank you, Lynn. It's, I appreciate the courage that you have to feel into this now moment, because, of all the conditioning that we've had, right? Like it's really takes a lot of courage to be present to the gift of this now moment. And I really felt what you were saying, and I agree that, we are all connected, and I'm grateful for our connection. And, we're divine beings who simply forgot who we were. And now we're waking up to the truth that we're unique expressions of divinity. And that's what I heard in your words. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Lynn, would you like to reflect on your writing?
Yeah, it was, I knew it was 42, so I knew I had to talk about 42. That's a sci-fi thing. But then once I got past that, it just kept weaving in and out and going places I had no idea where I was going. So it was kind of fun.
It is fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. You are brave. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. All right. We just moved around on the screen. That was interesting. Okay. So then, Marilyn, please.
Okay. How do I experience being in communication with my universal self? The clearest experience of this came in the recent TIA episode, A Minor Stroke. Or is it really the gift of a major shift? Being in the present moment connected me only to my higher self, to that awareness. Being in the place of peace, no pain, no fear, no judgment. Not able to move and not needing to. Not able to speak and not needing to speak. Hearing and seeing only locally what was immediately in front of me. Knowing everything was just as it was meant to be, with no fear and no pain. Now I purposely reconnect into this space, into this awareness, knowing my universal self is always here as me, and we are one.
Thank you, Marilyn. It's beautiful. Would you like feedback? All right. Can I ask a question for clarification?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The beginning, can you just read the first couple lines again?
Okay. How do I experience being in communication with my universal self? The clearest experience of this came in the recent TIA episode, A Minor Stroke. Or is it really the gift of a major shift?
And is that a TV show or was that your
No,
experience?
My experience.
Oh, did you have a stroke?
Yes, a TIA, which is a minor stroke. Very.
Got it. Thank you. I wanted to make sure I understood that fully. Thank you for sharing that with us. All right. Who would like to give feedback first?
I can go.
Great.
I just have phrases. That seems to be the way I do it. That's the beginning, minor stroke, major shift. Peace, no pain, no judgment. Just as it was meant to be. Purposefully reconnect. As me, we are one. So thank you.
Carolyn?
Thanks for asking that, Kristina, because I was going to ask the same. I almost exactly the same way you said. I'm like, okay, I don't watch TV. So is episode the TV? I got the impression it was a stroke. So thanks for clarifying that. I felt you giving you to us in that. I felt your projection of your spirit. That was cool. The gift of a major shift, peace, no judgment, not able to move or speak and not needing to, in front of you, everything as meant to be. Reconnect with this space, this awareness, know universal self here as me, and we are one. I think that's pretty dang clear. I think that's an incredible gift. And the way I look at that is it's awesome for you to see the value in something that was delivered in a way that may be perceived as other than valuable. And the gift that you were able to open and enjoy and share now. That is definitely something that I sit with gratitude with you in that space for being willing to occupy that experience and share it and resonate this, your heart coming through from this and being the one, not just with you, but as us. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Christine.
Thank you, Marilyn. What I heard you saying, that you're just in this now moment willing to be a being instead of a doing, and knowing and feeling and trusting that the universal self is a timeless self. It doesn't know time. It just knows now. And it's very courageous of you to share that you had a mini stroke. And that you saw the gift and you experienced the gift of that experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Sarah?
I was in your breakout group last week too, and you were sharing about emotions. And I just noticed that neither time I wrote anything. I just think I get very lost in the fact you are so in the moment and so with your feelings, and you have a beautiful way of being able to share those very complex feelings with us. And I really love who you are.
Thank you, Sarah. What I'll say, Marilyn, is that my heart got cracked right open, even though I wasn't 100% certain at the beginning what you were talking about. The way you talked about it just brought forward that like that merging with life and death, and that middle part, the not being able to move or speak, but not needing to, like your acceptance of the experience and your compassion towards yourself. It's not universal in terms of how people deal with that situation, and so I felt healing from my own being. My mom had a stroke, and it's something that altered our relationship, and so I had that come up inside of me and get mixed in with your experience, and I wanted to sob for a little bit there while you were reading, and am deeply moved by what you shared. So I thank you very, very much. And now it's your turn to speak if you want. You're on, there you go.
Oh, I said, Marilyn, thank you for serving the field so much self-compassion. It's it's gonna be the game changer.
Right, Christine, thanks for adding that.
Okay. So did you say it's my turn?
Yes.
Okay. That just naturally came up as my response to 42 today. And I think it is, I'm not exactly sure how to express this, but I really do feel that it was important for me to have this experience, and that for me to share the fact that I was in this place where I was just totally connected to my higher self, to awareness, I mean, whatever you want to call it. And it was a very powerful, and it's kind of like, it was a very powerful entity in me, as me. And there was absolutely no fear. I was very aware. I knew what was happening to me. And it was timeless. My husband was with me, and he knew there was something wrong. And I could hear him. There were also people around, but I could just hear my husband asking me if I was okay. And I couldn't tell him I was okay. But I also knew that in his world I wasn't okay, but in my world I was. And so when I go back to that, those times when I really want to reconnect and know my connection, I go into that space. And I'm very grateful for having had the experience. But I also express the caveat is I don't need to have it again. But I really have so much gratitude for having had that experience. So thank you for your comments.
Thank you very much, Marilyn.
And it is important, I think, for people to know that I could hear what was being said to me. And I think that's important for everyone to know.
Thank you.
Tears of gratitude, Marilyn.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. So Sarah, it's you and I left to read. Are you going to give it a shot, or should I go? You're going to read? So you're going to, okay, read very slowly and a little bit louder than you're used to, because it is hard to hear you.
Okay. Today, I found my ring. The corruptibility of breaking the communication. Universe It was in a drawer, under a watch. How could it have been there for so long, forgotten? The communication broken between my universal mind, who put it there, watched, and my mental mind, who thought it had been compressed into a metal car cube when I was broken, frightened, worried. Was my son okay halfway across the world? He was. It was neurosis. It wasn't real, but it was forgivable. And I was so tired. Interviews, an Australian band, wedding band, not banned, not allowed. I hurt my husband by destroying his sweet little car, and I was only a little hurt. And I left our engagement ring in the car because I couldn't wear it to work. Well, that is, until today. Uncorrupted, forgiven, happy.
Thank you, Sarah. Were people able to track her reading? All right. Yeah. So we'll do what we can with feedback, and thank you so much for writing and being with us and holding this space, even though the technology is not great. Sarah, I appreciate you. Carolyn, do you want to give some feedback first?
Yeah, I'll go, and I'm led to go by the feel rather than the words, because I got the words, but I wasn't taking notes because I was so intense on trying to listen. And I realized when you said that the listening was energetic really more than words at some point. And then I tapped back in like, oh yeah, she's still talking, because I was feeling her. Sorry. So Sarah, what I'd like to say is I felt the intensity and the genuine nature of your, interesting, I hear desire to honor. And your spirit was very clear on how important it is to you to be sincere and genuine. I hear that again. And what got my attention the most was how you felt about leaving the ring. And then when you said until today, and right when you said that, everything that I was attempting to listen to you and to be present with you, it all just went zoop, and came right back into this moment of presencing with you and feeling what you were attempting to communicate with us. And it's very poignant because I felt your declaration like you had climbed a mountain and you're putting your flag down and saying, I'm here in this space right now. So that's what I got from it. And I enjoyed feeling your energy. I wish I could have heard every word you said, but I leaned into presencing with you. So thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. And what I am grateful for with your sharing is that you choose in this now moment to be forgiving. And yeah, we all have to know that forgiveness is a very, very important tool in our learning to love ourselves free of all of the conditioning. So thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
Yeah, I didn't have as much written down because when I closed my eyes, I could hear better. So I just have a few phrases. Foundering, forgotten, broken, frightened, not found, not allowed, uncorrupted, and then forgiven. So it's like it came full circle. So thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Marilyn?
I too had difficulty bringing all the words together, but the primary sense that I had from it was the sense of self-forgiveness, which I identified with. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. For me, what really held my attention and I want to honor is the way that you use the engagement ring and losing it and finding it to basically embody the whole of the code and it gives me this deep sense, even though I don't know about the significance of that relationship in your life. And it makes me feel really happy that you are in devotion to that person in your life, and that they're that in devotion to you, that you feel yourself evolving with them in this beautiful way, and that ring sort of holds that for you. So I hope I didn't get that wrong, and thank you. Sarah, would you like to say anything? It looks like she's going to get something.
Actually, that wasn't disturbing you because I wasn't unmuted. The phone went just at the wrong time. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, it made me laugh. It made me laugh what you said, Kristina, because we've been married we've been together 30 years, and devotion and all these things, I'm not so sure. But it's why it actually really mattered to lose it. And I thought what you might have missed because of the words, I thought I'd left it in a car that then got crushed because I'd written it off. So it was like a really big deal. I thought I'd never see it again. And I loved that. I think it was Marilyn picked up on the self-forgiveness, and it was almost like, I think that's right, and I think that's right. And I think it might have been after the call last night, I owed, and I particularly also related to 43, because I think we're doing 43 as well. Is that right? I really related to 43. And I think maybe that's what I did, self-forgiveness. And then I could hear my universal say, do you know what? It's been in a bloody drawer for all this time. You know? How do we do that? How do we forget something like that? You know? So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. All right, I'm just going to text Allie and let her know we'll be back into the group in about 10 minutes or so she can start planning for that. We will want to rejoin and listen in about 10 minutes. All right. Also, just to presence this because it's come into the space. My mom, it looks like she's just finding out that she has lung cancer. So it's very, very intense right now. Okay, so here is my writing. OMG, what the hell is this code all about? To me, this code of Barbara Marx Hubbard speaks to not only an impossible task, but not a way of being that is ever possible. When I envision mental mind, I imagine this is our amygdala, lizard brain, fight or flight. Yes, I can learn not to react to it, to not believe its words of you are a dumb shit or this is it. This is the thing that will kill you when the pain in my body continues relentlessly. But rather, I can come into knowing also in each moment the universal self. The universal self noticed the monarch butterfly this morning before class in the sprawling white clematis. The beauty of the orange and black wings opening and closing against the white flowers stopped me in my tracks. My whole body felt as if it was dipped into bliss. Then yesterday, picking up dog shit in the backyard, my body closing up against the gushiness, the smells, the thought of shit on any one of my 4 dogs' paws. Then, as Barbara writes in Code 42, create an unbroken communication from your universal self to your mental mind, to at least one other in a resonant field. So what I did is as I finished my task, it started to rain, and I didn't run inside. I felt the other calling me with the potential of raindrops. I noticed a bowl I use to give water to the birds. The bowl is brown with blue and copper, what is that, glaze spreading from its center like fire. Then plop, a raindrop. I pull out my iPhone from my back pocket. I squat down so I'm looking at the bowl straight on. Plop, another raindrop, an incorruptible act of the universe. Rain hitting water, causing me to see what I imagine must be exactly another Big Bang. Water displacing water, sending the waves out in concentric circles, then a tower of a droplet rising up from its center into another droplet broken off from the whole of the water, perfecting reflection, all that is around it, but upside down. I am astounded, in awe. I take 5-10 shots, hoping for the miracle of catching a water droplet in full flight. Then I capture this magic on my camera. There's this moment of impact, creating such magic, like the magic of becoming incorruptible within oneself as a whole, with all evolutionary parts, the cerebellum, the cerebrum, the limbic system, the medulla oblongata, pons, and midbrain. We are all here together, weaving ourselves into wholeness inside each one of us, the fears, the longings, the desires to flee, the ability to stay and grow and recommit to living fully in this very moment with all that is going on. Dog shit and raindrops captured in full flight, and reunion by the universe herself evolving within me. So that's it. And then I just want to show you guys this photo that I took, which, oh, it's so beautiful. I just must show it. Can you see it? I don't think it's gonna work because of the way anyways, that is the photo.
It was working, Kristina. Hold it up there one more time. Hold it close, but be still for a sec.
Isn't it kind of blurry?
Just orienting.
See the water droplets right here, right there.
Yeah, right in the center.
Yeah, thank you. I love taking pictures. And Christine left. So, all right, and I would love feedback. Karen.
First, I will add you and your mom to my meditation list. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
I'm just going to quickly read for the sake of time. Speaks to the impossible task, not a way of being that's ever possible. Amygdala, words of condemnation. I wrote that because you said a lot of really powerful things of things that felt like he had been bombarded at you. So I wrote as a paraphrase, words of condemnation. Come into knowing of each moment, universal self, monarch butterfly, clematis, white blooms, and your elaboration of that. The whole body dipped into bliss. Dog poop, smell, feel. On your dog's paws, I got the feeling of your awareness and concern of what was permeating, what was getting on things, what was the ick of it all. And where it was being taken. I got a very big visual when you said, and what the heck was on my dog's paws, and where was it being put in my house, and oh my gosh, there's stuff everywhere. Connect with at least one other in a resonant field. Rain. Didn't run inside. Again, there was a lot of echoing of fleeing and running, but persisting and staying. That compulsion to want to turn away, but staying in it and blinking and looking again. Felt other calling me. And you did a lot of describing the bowl and the color and the glaze. And that really got me present with the experience of it even being fired and what was happening as it was being created. Raindrop, looking at the bowl straight on. And at that point, it didn't feel like to me that you were talking about the bowl at all. It was life and looking at things straight on, and the illustration of being present in the moment like I was when I was on my bike ride with the leaves. Plop. That was very like, then again, it was like, you know, something got your attention. Incorruptible universe creating. Water dissolving. I think that dispersing. My autocorrect changed. Dispersing water. Concentric circles. Rising up. Broken off. So you were constantly, again, it was this shifting and tributaries and directions and choices and there was a lot of movement in the energy I felt with what you were saying. Rising up, broken off from the whole of the water. Again, it didn't sound like you were talking about the water. That was just your experience of it. All around it, upside down, hoping to get in the middle of the water droplet in full flight. The moment of impact, magic of whole with all parts. And then your elaboration of the brain and how you were feeling about how the transportation and the intricacies of the transmissions and how it happened was what I was feeling, the electricity. We are here together. The desire to flee, but stay here. Dog poop and raindrops. Reunion in me. So you took us all over this, and this is the stuff of the day. And yet you said to us, I think I'll just stay here and play a while. I think I'll just stay here and deal with the dog poop. I think I'll just stay here and think, oh, well, there's dog poop in my house on the pause. So what? I'm going to play in the water and take some pictures. So it was that intensity and the condemnation and the choices, along with, what the heck, might as well play in the rain.
Thank you very much, Carolyn. Appreciate you.
And now that you brought it up, please keep us posted on your mom.
Thank you. Lynn?
Yeah, I also want to let you know that I'm selling Good Mojo, Your Mother's Way, Good Healing Mojo. I, right from the beginning, OMG, impossible task. And then I love that you brought the amygdala in, because we know what the amygdala does and tries to keep us from doing. So I love that. And not believe the words, knowing your universal self. And then the monarch butterfly dipped in bliss. And then you went through the whole dog shit place and felt the other in the potential of raindrops. I really like that. And then I have Big Bang, water displacing water, perfecting, reflecting, magic parts, weaving into wholeness, reconnect to living fully. So it seems like you started out with an impossible task and then weaved it around into reconnecting and living fully.
Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah. And you really did express the code of staying in connection with your universal self, because we are human and we are universal. So we go back and forth between the dog shit and the monarch butterfly, the rain, the miracle and the awe of the raindrop and the dog shit, you know, and that really is the dance between the two, because it really speaks to not wanting to acknowledge the human aspect as well. Thank you. It's beautiful.
You're very
I have
welcome.
a dog. I know dog shit.
Right. Thank you, Marilyn. Sarah?
I think I've got that other, being called by that other, which has been picked up by the others as well. And Carolyn did a similar thing. I think it was Carolyn. I'm very grateful to you, because it's true, you know, even on those moments where we can't find another, and these blissful moments here where we get to really connect so deeply, that's why we're so grateful. But there are times we can't find another, and actually that's really not true. We just look out the window or walk outside. and you've made that come very alive tonight, I think, both of you. And you're always so brilliant at writing the tiny details of your day and then bringing them into the universal, to the thing that everybody can relate to, and the big questions of life and the thoughts of life. No, you do, darling, you do it so beautifully. Yes, so very similar. And of course, the first thing I'm going to do when we finish is research what a monarch butterfly looks like. But I can really relate to how much I've been connecting and loving the butterflies. Especially, I guess, as we're coming towards the end of that season, we're sort of appreciating them even more.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, there just in the last couple of days, there's been, on some days I've seen 100 or so. So there seems to be migrating through here. And in my backyard, I've got 3 butterfly bushes. So they really are happy back there. So thank you for the blessings around my mother. And yes, that is a very emergent thing. And actually, Marilyn, she just reached out to me while you were reading, and I had that big heart crack open about her while you were reading. So really beautiful and reflecting, right, how this is all connected, and whether that was just totally random or pure magic, we don't know, but it felt in my body like pure magic. So thank you. And I just love being in this space and being able to create with you all and get reflection and give reflection. So thank you on all of that. And we might be waiting a minute or two, because now that it's getting close to the 55, I don't necessarily want to interrupt them. So I'm going to go check on them, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys? Just a minute.
Are any of you guys going to Colorado in November?
I do not have plans to go so far.
I really don't think I will be going. Are you, Carolyn?
Still debating. I had intended on it, and I'm curiously listening to whether I feel the nudge to go or not now. I was thinking there was going to be a program or a plan or something, so now I'm readjusting. Am I just going to meet people who have connections?
Can I just check, was that question about the gathering?
Yes.
Oh wow, because I'm thinking of coming, and I'm really got to search my heart because it's a long way.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really hoping everyone would be there. So I guess it's just getting that feedback is going to be quite important, isn't it?
Yeah. We were all just sitting here, Kristina, so I just posed the question, who might be coming to Colorado in November?
To Sunrise Ranch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. And who is coming? I'm going.
We're deliberating.
You're all deliberating?
Yeah.
I can say when I was really resistant to going to Holland to the Summer Festival of Love in July to August, which is a similar event, right? And I'm so happy that I did, even though it was a big deal. But so because of going to the Summer Festival of Love, I'm that much more excited to go to Sunrise Ranch and to the Awaken the New Species event. I think it's going to be really amazing. So I hope that everybody that needs to be there is there, and you have exactly what you need to get there.
Will we join the other group?
They're finishing up, and they should be bringing us on any second now. Marilyn, where do you live? You live in Europe as well?
No, I live in Northern California.
Northern California?
Yeah. Up in the Sacramento area. So.
And Lynn, remind me of where you live?
Buffalo, New York.
Are you guys getting rain now, or?
No, we were supposed to get the tail end of Florence, so she never got here. So it's sunny out. So that's nice.
We got plenty of it, but we didn't get anything what they were anticipating that we would get. We got 3 days of rain, but very minimal wind, and we had power. And I know not everybody was that fortunate, but yeah.
Okay, I'm hitting the return to main session. All right, welcome back, everyone. Did everybody get a chance to read? Awesome. All right. This is so great, isn't it? All right. Well, we have a few minutes for people to put in any kind of appreciation that they'd like to into the space before we bow to close. Sarah, if you could mute yourself while you're not talking, that would be helpful. Thank you, honey.
I really appreciate all of the courage and the transparency that was shared today. I think that courage, transparency, and flow were some large themes that everybody really embodied. It was beautiful. So I appreciate all of it. Thank you.
Yeah, and our group as well. It's beautiful, Allie. Thank you. Anybody else want to presence themselves as we close?
Yeah, I just want to appreciate this whole group. There's a lot of things going on for me right now, and I keep on thinking, well, maybe I won't go. Nope, I'm going. So, and it's the interaction in this group that keeps me being here instead of being distracted. So thank you, everybody.
Deeply honored, Lynn. Thank you.
Love with you, Lynn. And Kristina, I want to thank you for hosting the group and calling us together. It's important to have an invitation for me somewhere. And I really appreciate that. And it makes me realize it's such an important step for these small groups, for Barbara's process to evolve, that it's just like, okay, I got to get a permanent small group and be able to express it somewhere. So thank you for introducing the small group and making it easily accessible.
You're very, very welcome, Diane. And what you said, yes, right? It is so important that not only are we receiving these teachings and in study, but that we come forward and we are vulnerable and transparent and get a chance to share who we are and what we're struggling with and what we're reaching toward. So I really deeply appreciate everyone showing up. It's a big deal. We are all very busy and full, right? So thank you. Okay. Any last words before we complete? Christine? You're still muted, hon.
Okay,
Right,
there
there you go. Yeah.
I just want to express my gratitude to you as well, Kristina, and to you, Allie, and to mostly to express, because I feel it so strongly, the love I feel in my heart for all of you. As soon as you start talking, it wells up in me, and I can't explain it. I don't hardly know you, but it just wells up in me. Just such beautiful beings. So thank you.
Ditto.
I'm giving you a hug.
Ditto, ditto, ditto.
Right. Oh.
I'll
All
just
right.
say something really quick, Kristina.
Yeah.
The light in me honors the light in each of you as we come together and shine as one bright light. Thank you all for presencing.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm not sure how many of you, Sarah, did you want to say something?
Yeah, just very quickly, because Christine, I agree with you totally. It's just that moment of love that just, well, it's just that universality you share. But in the light of that, Christina, darling, you shared with our small group, but not with everybody, that you've got a very tough time at the minute. And I think if you felt all of our love, that would be a really powerful thing.
Thank you. My mom texted me yesterday. She hasn't been feeling well all summer. And like 2 weeks ago, they told her she had pneumonia, and now they're telling her she has a nodule in her lungs. And so she's going to go have a scan tomorrow. So it looks like my mom might be dealing with, she's a lifetime smoker and might be dealing with something much more serious. So when we were being read to by Marilyn, who had a similar experience to my mother texted me. So it was really powerful, I know. And I was already like weeping about the connection I felt. So yes, and thank you for that, Sarah. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I'm kind of numb and in shock yet. So thank you. And also, I want y'all to, I don't know who knows and who doesn't know, but I fully enjoy the energy and presence of Saturday and Barbara's evolutionary church that she does. So if you don't know about it, you can email me and I can hook you up, but it's Saturday at 11 Central, 9 Pacific, 12 Eastern European time, 6-ish. So every Saturday for an hour, and it's a great space. So I'd love to see any and all of you there as well. And let us bow to close. We will meet next week, same time, same place. And may you all have many blessings. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.